Hi, this is Paul Slatkis, and this is
Paul,
PJ.
I
And how
love
was
you and you
it?
make me happy.
Well, she already made me happy because she gave a credit to somebody who was so kind to bring her a nice little gift, and during the Jewish holiday called Purim, and it's a beautiful holiday. It's a holiday to give back to others and
It
to
is.
do good, of which he did, and then you shared the goodness that he did because your phone is leaning on the bottle of wine. Now, do I have the story right?
You do have the story right. So Boris, who's a really incredible human being, runs these dinners where he gives a company an opportunity to present to a group of investors, which is where I met you. And it was Boris, who we both know,
I didn't
who
know
brought
it
me
was my
this
great
bottle of
great great
wine.
great great grandfather Boris who brought the wine.
Yes,
You didn't
Mashayev,
mention that.
yes. He kindly brought me this lovely bottle of monograph. Um, it looks beautiful. It has art. I would show it to you, but it is balancing my phone. I will tell you that it is a lovely pencil sketch. And it was a nice surprise when he brought it in for me just to show some gratitude because what I'm finding more and more is as I get to know incredible, amazing people who are doing good in the world, like you, when I have meaningful discussions and talk about the possibilities of what we can do and how we can really put our heads together and share in something bigger, that amazing things happen. So just from my reacquaintance with him, and similarly with my new acquaintance with you, that I'm so grateful for, we're planning a couple of interesting events where we're overlapping some of our ecosystems, and where clients of mine and new potential clients of mine will have opportunities to have a nice venue where they can meet people and grow their businesses. So it's like a rediscovery of something that I've always known, but I'm grateful that I'm surrounding myself with people who get that. And you do.
So when you say the word clients, what does that mean? What kind of work do you do?
Oh, thank you for asking. So I'm a corporate and securities attorney, and I often refer to myself as a deal attorney because much of what I do is based on a transaction. And it's usually a financing transaction, and it's generally for a company that is looking to go public or that's already public and wants to do a secondary, or it's an established company that's private that is looking for beyond startup capital. It's really, for me to be the most helpful, it should be a company that is at a point where it's beyond concept, has a product, has a service. If it's a biotech, it has to be really at a point where it's less than 2 years from commercialization. And I say that just because I've got a vast network that I've built over 25 years of people I know that are investors, investment bankers, brokers, family offices, high net worth individuals. And I sit on the board of the National Investment Banking Association for a decade now. I can't believe it. And they have 9,000 active members around the country. So knowing people helps companies that are looking for capital, because when I hear someone's deal, and honestly, it has to be, I have to preface this by saying the client that I seek is a client that's really doing something impactful in the world. And there are lots of different things that are impactful, but it's unlikely that, a company that's polluting or that is, just not doing something that I'm a fan of, I'm not going to seek out that relationship. But if I'm able to bring value with my connections and my energy, then that's a client I want to have. So that's a client for me. I hope I wasn't too detailed, but
That's great.
lots
Perfect.
of
No, that's perfect. Basically, you love putting people together that are going to benefit themselves as well as the world around them, and that's a beautiful opportunity to be involved with on a daily 24/7 basis, because we all know that this work thing, if you put these things into work, actually is the life thing, because that you can't actually, it's very hard to separate the two. And so thusly, if you can build relationships in the life thing and the work thing, you can probably be a happier camper. What do you think?
You couldn't be more spot on. And this is really the reason that I think I was so um, drawn to you in a discussion across the table, because that is how you live your life. And when you talk to people and really start hearing about their passions, their mission, their vision for wanting to have impact, um, if there's a way that you can be of service to them, it enhances your life tremendously. And I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for anyone who takes that time and gets to know. And you know what? The universe, not to be too philosophical here, but it provides all of these things if you're open to it and asking the right questions. And it does then make your work life and your life intertwined. One thing my father told my mother many moons ago, it's funny, my mother ended up spending 22 years as a probation officer, and people were thinking, that's such an interesting career choice, because she was on track. She was doing volunteer work, going back to college when we were kids, and a real role model to me, because I followed a similar path when my kids were little. I refocused and went back to school. But long story, as short as I can make it, she had a brain tumor. And I was about 17. I was sort of in, formative year period, looking to make decisions about life. And we thought we were going to lose her. And thank God it was benign, but it was this big golf ball on her cerebellum. And she had great care. This brain surgeon who smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. I'll never forget him. His last name was Ransahoff. And he was like the premier brain surgeon in the world at the time. And I'm not kidding. 3 packs of cigarettes a day this guy smoked. But he saved my mother's life. It was at NYU Medical Center. And when she came out of it, she was just finishing up her MSW, her Master's in Social Work. And this opportunity came up for her. And she loved it so much because she was making a difference in the lives of people who had made a mistake. And she was working with young kids. I feel like I'm going to cry now because I haven't talked about this in ages. She would help kids that were just on a bad track or just weren't given enough love, and they made a mistake and they could have gotten into the system, and that would have been their life. They would have never come out of it. They would have never been on a track where they could have been a contributor to the world and a happy human being. And she on occasion would bring a person home just to show them what a nice family was like. It was beautiful. So my dad would say to her more than once, you don't work a day of your life because you're doing what you love. This doesn't seem like, no, he said, you would do this if they didn't even pay you. And she said, you're right.
He supported her. Now that's a big deal in life,
Yeah.
to have people, your family themselves, as well as friends around you who support your passion, because
Yes.
passion could make somebody a little berserky, because you care so much about it. And because it's your passion, sometimes possibly people can't understand. So like, for example, somebody could not understand why your mother would want to be a probation professional
Officer. Yeah,
officer.
and that's before jail. That's before jail when you've gotten in trouble. Could have been shoplifting, could have been a variety of things. Go on.
So somebody could easily say, and I'm sure some people did say, aren't you afraid? Isn't that a concerning position? I mean, there's 100, maybe every profession has that. I mean,
Sure.
just maybe this is a little more in a different way. Every profession has some negativity, right, about it.
Sure.
It can take you away. But let me ask you, because I know you're a dedicated wife and a mommy and so on and so forth. How do we, those that are 24 kind of 7, how do we separate? What do you think is a way to separate? I know I called you once, you were cooking and making a whole meal. So is that a way to separate? How do you get some quality time with the family, which is so important? It reminded me, I interviewed Florence Henderson once, a long time, the head of the Brady.
Oh, I love Florence Henderson, the mommy of the Brady Bunch.
And so she said to me, that
Great singer too.
the breakdown, she could do everything. She's a triple threat. In any case, she said that one of the concerns of humanity at this moment is the breakdown of the family structure, meaning
Yeah.
that the dinner, with the family together, all sitting, as opposed to people, on their phones and running off to here and there. The structure of family. How do you keep a family together?
That is a beautiful question. And I love it because you can tell, I could tell you can tell about me how much I love my family.
Right.
I'm a grandma. I have 5 grandkids now. The oldest is going to be 5 in April, and the youngest is 8 months. And there's
And
a
we
set of
have two.
twins in
Let me
there.
call them. No, okay. Yeah, go on.
They're amazing. They're amazing. But just like you and I had some fun banter and a meaningful phone call in the 10 minutes where I was preparing something, I was making leftover brown rice with some vegetables in it. That was okay. And something more delicious, I was turning it into fried rice. And I'm sharing with you my recipe as I'm
No,
making
I
it.
know.
But
I'm. That's what I'm working on. I'm trying to
yeah.
get that recipe because I didn't write it down as you were saying it. So
All
this is
right,
a
I'll
chance
send
because
it
I'm
to you. I'm
recording.
not a big recipe person. I'll look at a recipe for some ideas and then I see what I have and I'm a taster. So tasting, adjusting and adjusting. And that's a gift I gave my daughters too, because they're both professionals, but they're able to throw together something that tastes good. But how do you balance? Um, if you were to look in my office right now, you would be amazed. I'll try to give you a little tour of how many pictures I have in my office of my incredible family. Like, can you see any of this?
I can see it all. You're doing a beautiful,
Okay.
nice camera work.
Okay, hold on. Then there's more here above my 2 screens. Then I have some more here by my beautiful window where I look out and see St. Patrick's Cathedral. And then I have even more here. I
Uh,
surround myself with my amazing family that makes me smile. They are my happy place. But everybody that I speak with on any level, I don't care if I'm on a working group call for an IPO, if there's a birthday party coming up for the twins, I mention it. I'm a little distracted. I was, just talking with my sister about the twins' birthday party. But anyway, and who doesn't want to hear that I'm a human being, right? So I
Everybody
think
wants to
we
hear
all
it.
need to, you need to bring them into and Kayla, my triple threat actress daughter, who's incredible, and my naturopathic doctor daughter, Jessica, incredible. She's the mom. Kayla works across the street. She works at Peacock. And during COVID, she pivoted because it was difficult to do live performances. She had a lot of off Broadway leads. You would love Kayla. She's amazing. It's so delightful that she could on occasion come over and say hello. And I cannot help but walk her around and have little conversations and introduce her to that's part of me. And I think if all of us in business realize that what makes what we do more of a pleasure is revealing to the world that we're these complete people. And if they reveal that to us, we're going to enjoy working with them more, knowing them, spending time with them. It just makes the whole thing more accessible, more interesting, more fun. And does that mean I occasionally answer a text message during dinner? I'm not buried in my phone. I'm as present as I can be. But if a client has an emergency, of course, I'm going to text and say, I'm having dinner with my family. Is this really an emergency? Can I get back to you? Communication is key. But there's not a person I work with that is not aware how much I love my family and what then happens in return, because we talk occasionally about other things than the task at hand. I learned that they have one too. They have a life too. They like to travel. They like to garden. They love shows. They're learning how to play the guitar, whatever. They're a saxophone player.
Like what I also like in this conversation, what I think also you're blessed to have, I'll call it even, is as a company where you work, or this law firm that you work, that is supportive of Andrea having her family all over the walls, and her own personal items to this degree. I've worked in corporate America, my CBS. I worked down the street and I worked up the street, CBS, PBS. I'm trying to think way back, how much personal, scenario. They're allowing you to be who you are within the body of their corporation. And so, and they feel comfortable. I mean, it's like these kinds of things that we're talking about, and we're involved with the World Water Day and the Earth Day.
Yes.
ESG, environmental, social, and governance, good corporate social responsibility, and
Hmm.
people add diversity, equity, and inclusion, and things like this. A good corporation becomes human and is understood
Yes.
as a human organism with people uh, who are regular human beings. In fact, we added a new name. I'd like to share it because I'm hoping it sticks to the world. PSR, personal social responsibility, r slash
Love it.
respect, because people are corporations. Corporations is just, as you know, it's a legal term on a piece of paper that Uncle Sam
Yep.
makes a decision on whether you do this tax or that tax. That's all it is. Some
Correct.
nonprofit. So people, it's like Starbucks is the people that work at Starbucks. It's the people that work in the law firm. So to have a good corporation above you, you're happy at this company. They let you be.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And that makes me think of something I've wanted to ask you about for a while now, and that is how can we and when can we talk really more granularly about how we can help with this upcoming event? And we're all busy and distracted, but it's important to make time for things that matter. And I know this is my interview, but I'd really like to ask you to
Oh,
give the highest level of where you are now with this
sure.
event,
Okay.
because I want to be able to have a fresh perspective. Because on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we've got critical mass here in the New York office. We're in LA, New York, and DC. And this is the date of our 15th anniversary in the New York office. This firm was founded in 1908. So it's been around a
1908.
while. Yeah, 1908.
I was born
And
that year.
you look amazing, Paul.
It's
So
unbelievable. Makeup, makeup,
the
makeup.
you really look incredible. The Los Angeles office is where it all started. And, celebrating our 15th year here was reason for all of us to congregate in the big conference room and have a little breakfast and chat about, how far we've come. And I would love to continue the conversation about what you're doing, because this firm is made up of people who do want to have impact, who do want to make a difference. And if you haven't done so already, and those who are listening, have a look at our website to see that we are, in fact, the firm you're describing. We do lots of different things. Our entertainment practice group is probably the most known by the biggest companies. We represent Disney, Sony, MGM, the Grammys. I usually take clients to the Grammys as a wonderful perk, because we have a number of invitations that were granted. But everyone, and it's hard to say this about a lot of law firms, but everyone that I refer, maybe to another practice area, a piece of business to, or when we collaborate on things, or my own team here in capital markets, just helpful, caring people. So yes, please,
Well,
please, let's talk turkey.
right here. Okay, but before I do that, only because
Okay.
I studied your company.
Oh, good.
We met, and I didn't study it for this phone call. I studied it when we met, and I wanted to see if your
Flattered.
company would be
Yeah.
could benefit. This is exactly what I'm care about. Benefit from being involved with our Pause the World for Peace event.
Yep.
Okay, for 2023, and so actually the phenomenal reality, and since I have my 50 years in television business, and even starting way back in Television City in California, your business started as an entertainment. Your business started on relationships. Your
Yes.
owner, the guy who I love the founders. If anything, if I never made 10 cents and I was the founder, it's not far from that. I like being a founder. A founder is like the person that tried to make something new happen in this world. And in essence,
Hmm.
America is that kind of a country. Most of the, what is that? It's 90% or so are small businesses. They're not big businesses.
Correct.
It's a phenomenon that people, that's one
Yes.
of the beauties of freedom. I got this freedom tie on. And that's
Love it.
ability to everybody to try to work hard and start, if they want, their own look at the same maybe subject, say same business, but if they have a different slant. That's why on, you can have 50 different videotapers, 100 different phones, because somebody says, well, let's put a happy face on theirs. Okay. In any case, and I own a happy face. I own a happy face with arms and legs. Trademarked it many years ago with a
Did
lawyer.
you?
With
You
a
didn't get a
lawyer.
battle from the Life is Good guys?
No, I did it way before them. I did it when the emoji.
Ah,
I did the first emoji, but with not the Japanese. I had it before them. In any case, I didn't. I don't, and I'm happy the emoji and the happy faces out there. Mr. Smiley was before me, but the point is that mine has arms and legs, so mine's actually more of an emoji than just a happy face. Okay, and the Life is Good is a great company. I should actually be calling them to be more involved with
I
what we.
could connect you because my husband went to Villanova with the two founders of that
Yeah,
company.
those are good dudes too. But your
Yeah.
company was built on relationships because we were talking relationships,
Yes.
and that
Absolutely.
he met he met the people running the studios. He met the people, and that he said he could help. I don't remember all the details right now, but that's what it is, relationship. All right, I'll take 2 seconds. We're gonna. I only have the 40-minute, but I'm getting. So what am I doing? I'm enlarging my Zoom call from the 40 minutes. I like the 40 minutes because then to do television, to do this Zoom
Yes.
call, it's great to talk. We could talk for a long time, but then I have to give this to an editor. And the editor has to edit it, not edit. We don't edit anything in the show. We just put
Hmm.
opening and closing on it. But the longer it is, the longer it takes to work on it. In other words, set
Understood.
it up because this is streaming television. It's a
Yep.
little different than regular broadcast TV. So it could take, hours depending if you have a T1 line. This is all technical. Television is all technical wires. When I started CBS, they showed me behind the equipment all the cables and the wires, and they said the wires and the cable is what television is. It's not the monitor.
And then it was all the cathode ray tubes, and it
And,
really did add 10 pounds to you. It did.
and
It
then
made everyone a little
all the
puffier, didn't it?
realities of a tube, and then all the realities of what a tube represents.
Hmm.
And that it's a passive medium. All those things that I got a master's degree that I learned what television actually really is that I had no idea.
Have you published a book? Have you written a book about your fascinating life yet? Because I
The
got to
answer
connect
is
you to Judy
yes.
Katz. You
And I
have
wrote it
to.
on the subway on the way to Brooklyn to our TV studio. In any case, the answer is yes. I have a book, but
All right. But still, we're having lunch. I told you I was going to do this. I'm connecting you. This is a relationship that you are going to be grateful for. Her name is Judy Katz. We are going to have lunch or dinner within the next week.
okay.
And she's a collaborator. She could take what you've already written. She's connected to the biggest literary agents in New
Well,
York.
I'm
She's
recording this. I'm
ghostwritten
going to
50
broadcast
books.
this. I don't, I'm broadcasting everything. I don't edit. This is my life and I share it. If I want you to know that I'm not editing anything in, out,
Good.
nada.
Well, you could see by demonstration, just by our conversation, that I'm a connector. I can't help it.
I understand
I
that.
can't help
So
it.
I want to give you an update, and then we're going to make
Please.
this part one of part two. And it's so kind of you to ask me to do that. And I would always say, I live a life of vice versa or versa versa. And we're in it together. How can I be of service to you? How can we work together as service to me? I even hate
Yes.
the words. But the thing is,
Reciprocity.
reciprocity of the law. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. With our scenario at this moment today, on Tuesday, the 7th or whatever today is,
Yes. The
March,
7th of March.
we made a decision to do a virtual press conference on World Water Day. Actually, we've been involved with water. I don't know if you can see this button, but it says what? It says
There's a glare on it, so I can't see it. You have to tell me.
water, not weapons. Okay.
Ah, love
Where
that.
water, not weapons was conceived of. Uh, I'm going to do something really berserk here right now. Give me one
Go
more.
for it.
I'm gonna you make me want to like just really so I'm home,
Ooh,
even though I have a TV studio. Okay. Okay.
nice.
So this is I'm home. This is where I've been working for 3 years. Oh no, 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 no. I didn't hold it.
I love the heart behind you. It's
There it
beautiful.
is. Okay. So this is crazy days. Okay. Water, not weapons. It's so important, okay, because this is something that with regard to the water day. Okay. So September 22nd, March 22nd is World Water Day. It's World Water Day because of my buddy, uh, along with the country of Tajikistan, in the United Nations created a day for water. Water became then World Water Day back in the 90s. Okay. And we've been involved with World Water Day because Phil Sowers was my buddy, just passed a few months ago. Who was Phil's surfboards that worth a fortune from Redondo Beach. Uh, the water, not weapons, or just water in general. He introduced me more to water. And water, as we know, is the sustenance of life. Too much water, no good. Too little water, no good. And the fact of the matter is, there's a billion out of the 8 billion that do not have clean drinking water or access to water or something they call WASH, water sanitation, and so on and so forth. Things like this.
Hmm.
So I've been very passionate, in our company, we have a show called The Water Hour. This subject, the water, not weapons, comes from a famous gentleman. His name was Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger was a folk singer, and Pete created the Hudson cleaning of the Hudson River. Okay, where we are, and it's called the Clearwater, and the New York Friends of Clearwater and the Clearwater Association, and so this concept, water not weapons, we've been doing world peace since 2002. And we have a bunch of songs that are called Water Not Weapons, different people singing it. Because the fact of the matter is, we are down on weapons. We are peace people, and to the nth degree. No person should be passing away today because human beings couldn't communicate nonviolently. We're Gandhiist, whatever you want to think. This is
100%.
this
So
is
with you.
our passion as a corporation, as a person, as me, my entire life. Okay, and so I don't never fight. It's dumb, stupid. Someone's going to get hurt, and I don't want to get hurt.
Exactly.
And someone usually does get hurt. Okay, whether they get hurt physically or hurt mentally, it's not a good scenario. But water is our passion. So World Water Day is coming up to March 22nd, and actually, that was going to be Earth Day, March 22nd, because that's when the equinox occurs. All right. And you can take an egg and
Yes.
put it on.
Yes, and it stands up straight.
Correct. So initially, Earth Day by John, I know the whole history of Earth Day. Okay.
I did not know that.
Okay.
So
It
when did it get
started,
switched
well,
to April
Earth Day
22nd?
originally was started in San Francisco by a guy named John McConnell. Okay. And John McConnell is the one that conceived of Earth Day for March 22nd. Okay. However, John was not he was brilliant, but he wasn't a marketer. Okay. And it takes
Mhm.
marketing to get the word out to the world. Later on,
Right.
Dennis Hayes, who was known to have been a founder for Earth Day, he created it on April 22nd, a month later. Okay, because he felt, at least this is how I hear it. Dennis, if you're around, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Because he needed more time to do marketing, to let the world know about it. And I'm a marketer, so I can appreciate that. But this is
Sure.
why it's April 22nd. But based on what am we doing, I get right to the point. March 22nd, I did have Times Square to do a press conference. I decided not to do it. I'm doing a virtual press conference, which I invite you to, and everybody you know. And so I will, at that time, announce our events, which will be the World Water Day press conference, which will be Earth Day in Times Square on April 22nd. There's a press conference will be probably like 2 hours, and it'll be an example of people doing good things for world water, for water in their own lives, water in their businesses, water in the Amazon, water in Malaysia, water in China. I got people, I have tons of people. I'm the good news broadcaster. I have 6,000 shows. I know how many I know people doing good. Tonight I go to a bunch of people doing good for our society. The world is a beautiful place, and there's billions of people doing good, except for the few that unfortunately your mother had to try to help because they did go astray. Okay, it's just a few. All right, Richie Havens, who sang "Freedom" in Woodstock, starting it off, would say even 10% of 8 billion, that leaves 800 million. That still leaves 7.2 billion people that are not fighting, that are not beating anybody up, are not in war. In fact, this is the most peaceful time, some people will say, or actually the Peace Index will say, of humans living. There's no world war. There hasn't been. And God, please, I'll say that, let there not be. Okay, my grandkids are not going to war, and I'm crazed about that. All right, and I'm actually afraid of that. And so, because people can't communicate, I also show, I I only got a couple minutes left, and then it's going to be. I also show this all the time. Okay, this is from you. You paid for this card, and you are on this card. This is not a card. This is Mother Earth. Mother Earth from the moon. Okay, this is NASA's photo, and
Love it.
no boundaries, no borders. I'm a John Lennonist, and so we're all in it together. I mean, religion's beautiful. Enjoy it. Politics is what it is. We wanted to separate the world.
Imagine.
We're into the Imagine. We'll have Shakira. We'll sing Imagine on our show. Ringo's okay. So getting back to our thing, yeah, and this will happen actually on our press conference on March 22nd, because we have Shakira singing Imagine in the UN and talking about disenfranchised children. But it's a video. It's a virtual. Ringo Starr will start off by saying a moment of silence for peace, because if we don't have peace, we don't have Mother Earth. We'll blow the whole freaking place up. Okay, it doesn't take much, unfortunately, now with the technologies that are out there to blow the whole freaking place up easily from wherever you are, sitting in there like a mad scientist. So, or whatever these crazy movies we've shown over the years. In any case, we'll have our World Water Day. I'll have some very important people speaking, entertainment. I have a new original song from Georgia Fumante on water and actually on angels, and coming down and overseeing us in a good way. We're life affirming, thought provoking, good news, entertainment, and events.
Love that.
So we're only going to focus on. We know there's earthquakes. We know there's tornadoes. We all know that. We can see it. Okay, but what is the world doing? And how many people are doing? How many firefighters are coming in and helping somebody pull them out of a devastated scenario? That's the majority of the world is helping. And the fact is that our environmental.
We have more in common than we don't. We're more alike than we are not.
I just
finished. It's the truth.
You asked me, and because I'm so into it, because actually
I love that you
we don't have the funding to do it, and I'm bald as a result. So we have because everything production costs money. All right, I'm making CBS and PBS. It costs money, and we have also had a multicultural advertising and marketing company. So I know all the ethnic communities because I made them $30 million when I was doing ethnic marketing. I represented all multicultural, so that's good for world peace because I can go back to them and say, broadcast this show in any country because I know the people that run the media for all these things. But we need more people. March 22nd, a press conference.
I'll be there.
April
Virtually.
2nd in Times Square, a 5-hour live worldwide broadcast. And we just did the International Day of Peace on September 22nd. So if you go to pausetheworld.org, you can see what we've done. And a big stage. It's like big time now. In Times Square, the people are my close friends because we've been doing this 20 years in Central Park and in Times Square for 8 years. And so they like us. So we're going to do Earth Day,
As they should.
and we have a partner now called Unify that was able to get 2 billion views on Peace Day. Billion. This is bigger than
Wow.
the potential of what we have is because people want to know from this stuff. Okay, people's lives are affected by water. This is the real deal. It's not bang bang shoot 'em up gun shows. This is a whole nother level. It's closer to the good things that Channel 13 does on PBS, and the good things that networks do too. Media does what it does, and you have a choice to turn it off, as they say. You don't want to watch it. Bill Pelly used to say, "Turn the TV off." You don't want to watch it and complain that there's nothing good on.
So true.
Basically, and then after this, we had the Great Lawn, but we're not doing that for 9/11 because the city administration and the parks feel on 9/11 there's too much going on already to have a 60,000 person event in Central Park. So we're just going to use Times Square on 9/11, and then 9/21 is International Day of Peace. So that's what we're up to. If you can introduce us to anybody that is doing
You bet I will.
benefits, that is doing ESG and doing those kinds of corporate social, and every company is doing it. You put down anybody's company, almost every company, and you put right the word sustainability, and you look them up on Google, you'll see something, because their board of directors and their stock owners must see something, or this company is not a full-fledged part of the world. Okay, you got me talking.
I have a list of
We only have
people
1 minute and 39 seconds left. So why don't we talk that? Tell me lastly, I can't believe you asked me and I'm slapping around here. So what is peace for you?
Ooh, what a beautiful question. I would say peace is the calm that we can all have if we quiet the violence, the negativity, the fears in our head of rejection or failure, and just push them out and recognize that we can all be the creators of calmness and peace in the world. Peace is the absence of the noise. Oh my God, how ridiculously simplified is that?
That's beautiful, perfect. And one last question. When you made your rice, did you need to use water?
Yes, I did. Only because it had gotten so crunchy overnight that I wanted it to have a little bit, but not too much, because fried rice is good with texture.
Right. Now, when the last question, when the rice was made, okay, where was it made? What was it made in?
It was made in a saucepan, like a pot. That started out with a mere
rice.
No,
rice.
The rice. I started out with onions, carrots.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking the recipe. What I was asking you, even though you were speaking about the kind of different kinds of
Where does rice come from?
Where does rice come
from? Well, it grows in water. It grows in water, I believe. Rice paddies grow in water. So obviously without water, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
That's the bottom line.
It feeds the planet. I mean, that is like the essence. That is the lifeblood to so much of. Yeah.
You got it. You hit it on the head. And that's what I wanted to share. We really got to be respectful for water. And you know what? You cannot grow rice in salt water. And 3/4 of Mother Earth. I'll go to my Hug a Planet here from my buddy Rob Forenza. He makes these, and we have these all over the stage. We have a gorgeous stage.
I would like one. Would you please? You got to send me one.
I'm giving you one. All right, that's a done. And we have different sizes. And in fact, if people donate, they get a Hug a Planet, different sizes. And
Count on me.
if they donate, I'd send them. I got a place that I've had for 20 years out in Little Montauk and the Montauk Manor, and they can go out there. And so I'm a marketer. I have a lot of stuff. You get letters, you get all kinds of.
If I may, you've got to see Sean Callaghy in the sustainable giving mode. There is so much to learn from, and you already know it as a marketer about giving value and giving. It's more than a t-shirt or a mug or a squeezy thing. There are ways to really make people feel so good about participating in something amazing that you're doing. And
I'll interview them. They
should.
can put their friends in the show.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'm a marketer. So and Sean, I'm gonna put him in the show. Okay. I talked to Fernando
Adam Gadino
last night, and
good.
and you have such good people around you. And I'm recording and I'm broadcasting this, and so you know. But he explained to me some of the things that Sean and the organization Unblinded
It's incredible.
is doing
Yes.
in regard to social consciousness, unsustainability, the diversity, some of the areas where they've been keynote speakers. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to call Fernando. Sean's in the show.
It's amazing. It's leaders training leaders.
I can't believe he was brilliant. You're all brilliant. You're all good, kind, loving people. It's a great group, this Unblinded. I love it. So, and we had some other thoughts. So we'll make some good things happen. I got to go to the UN now.
Go to the UN. I loved our conversation. I'm so glad that we've met. I feel like we've known each other for many, many years, and there's a lot to look forward to and a lot of good we're going to do together.
That's rock and roll. I love it. Okay.
Yay.
Yay. Thanks. I'll talk to you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.